It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Magical day to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this magical, robust lifestyle show. I would like to thank each one of our listeners that are listening to this podcast on the numerous different platforms. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. And I am so excited today because I have with me my amazing returning diva, Chantel White. And her and I are going to chat about feeling good. Oh man, don't how we all want to always feel good and bring that joy into our lives. So I know this will be one magical show. With that, Chantel, would you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Sure, Joyce. I am, well, I don't know if I've said this before. We because I'm a returning diva, I am somebody who partners with Horses and Divine to help people remove the blocks to their joy and happiness. And so, yeah, I'm somebody who maybe a lot of the listeners can relate to. Is I'm somebody who is here to make a difference. I feel like I'm here to make a difference. That's one of my highest values. And I also value freedom and authenticity. I live on an acreage with horses and dogs, and really have moved through a lot of crap in order to start feeling good, And I think we all need to do that. We have to let go of a lot of things.
Yeah.
We have to let go of a lot of things in order to start feeling good, like really feeling good, not just that kind of fake good that we talk about when people ask us how we're doing.
Exactly.
Right? But I mean, the real good.
The feel good from your heart.
I feel good. What's that song? I feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm somebody who I believe is here to sit with others, not only through their painful moments, but to find their joy and the life that they're here to live.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And to make a difference. And that's exactly what you're doing, because you're making a difference in the world and by helping others. And that's exactly what Divas is, working to make the world a better place. So I just love that. And freedom, that is one word that has been coming up so much in my life lately. It's just like freedom. Oh my goodness. I think we could do a whole show on just freedom.
I know that was something you were asking, well, what are we going to talk about today? And that was one of the things that came up for me as well as freedom. And I mean, that is something that feels good, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I think we just lock ourselves down so much. I guess we'll just kind of roll with it, and then we'll bring it back to the feel good. But because you and I just love our animals so much, we learn so much from them, right?
Yes.
And the other day, my horse Flo, she decided, after I've been living here for almost 4 years, very close to 4 years, she got out. Still haven't figured how she got out. I think she crawled under the fence and she got out. And I thought about how horses, they love freedom, right?
Yes, they do.
And regardless of her being in that pen for how many years not being able to get out other than if I let her out, she found a way and she ran and she played. And, I think how often in life people hold hold themselves back from that feeling, right? That feeling of
Mhm.
freedom, that feeling of feeling good. And maybe even the gate is open, but they don't run through like animals do. You open a gate for horses, and it doesn't even have to be open for seconds, and they're out, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, they're like,
Uh-huh.
yay, let's do
Yes.
this.
Yes.
And I think we just hold ourselves so much prisoner of the past and of our own thoughts in our heads. And we just
Definitely.
don't allow ourselves to experience that freedom of feeling good.
Mhm. Yeah. I so agree with you because to me, being a prisoner of the past exactly comes from your head. It's that
Yeah, it
ego that is
does.
holding you in that position where to me, when you go down to your heart space, that's where you find the freedom to let go.
Exactly, exactly. I know we talked a lot about living in our heart, and I think that is the feel good. We just get
Mhm.
so caught up in the shoulds. Like, I know as a person of service, and I think it's very typical of people who are caregivers or somebody who feels compelled to help others. I've got stuck in like the shoulds and the over responsibility of everyone else and people pleasing. Oh, gag.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
you know, and in that way, I have held myself back from feeling good. Like that stuff, actually, if you sit with your own heart, doesn't feel good.
No. No. And I kind of sometimes I feel that's what society kind of teaches us over the years.
Sure.
We're not
Yeah.
supposed to take that time to make ourselves feel good. It's all
Right.
about helping everybody else feel good.
Oh, absolutely. Because if you, and I mean, I've worked with so many people on this, and then the number one thing, the number one fear, or let's say the fence that holds them in is
Yes.
is well, then I'd be selfish.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Right? Like then, well, if I do what feels good for me, then I'd be selfish. And it's like, wait a minute now. You know, I don't know if you listen to, oh my goodness, now I'm gonna totally lose the name. That's one thing that's been happening to me these days. The brain kind of goes, whoa,
Uh-huh.
somewhere else. Oh, Abraham. Have you been, do you listen to Abraham at all?
N-
Hicks?
No, Abraham Hicks.
Yeah,
Oh, I haven't, but it sounds like I need to.
you do. You do. So like it's basically a channeling of the divine,
Uh-huh.
a group in the divine. And I've heard them say all the time is that, this idea of selfishness, it's just so interesting. Um, it's like people say that you're selfish if you're doing what's, aligned with your own heart and well-being, um, versus doing what they want. So who's really selfish there, right? Like the person who wants you to do what they want and what's right for them, or the one that wants you to do what's right for you? Like which one's really selfish, right? Um, and I think honestly, by the most part, it's all in our heads, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all in our head. This idea of being selfish, or I should do this, or shouldn't do that, or it's all that societal stuff that we need to release and let go of in order to live fully aligned in our hearts and do a life that feels good. Like we're meant to feel good here.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and I've heard that so much. We weren't brought into this world to be miserable. We were
No,
brought into this world to enjoy it, to feel good, to see the beauty, to feel
right.
that from our heart space, what is just makes us feel good and brings us joy, not the things that
Absolutely.
bring us down.
Exactly. And it's not to negate that we're going to have hard times. We do. We're
Right.
in our human experience and we're going to have those hard times that don't feel good.
Yeah.
But the quicker we align with our own heart and soul, the quicker we can go back to that joy. It's like
Mhm.
we almost judge our joy.
Yeah.
We judge our feeling good. Like, well, if I feel good, then, maybe other people will judge me, other people will direct me. All the fears come up, right?
Mhm.
of feeling good. It's like really interesting. It's almost like we can fit in better if we get into the negative complaining or, oh, my life sucks, because at least, everybody can identify with that. But I think we're here to show people that it's okay to be happy and it's okay to feel good. And um, that's the way, by the most part, we're supposed to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I so agree with you. And sometimes, like you said, sometimes people I think do judge us because I try to be happy. I mean, I
Mm,
love being happy. I don't
yeah,
want to be on the other side. And
no,
I've had people say, "Well, how can you always smile? How can you always be happy?" Well,
right,
it's almost like they're judging me and putting
right.
me down because I do try to keep that smile. And yeah, I have my days. We all
Sure,
do. But it's just life is so much more enjoyable when you face it with a smile than when you face it
absolutely.
with a frown. And I also feel what you put out to the universe comes back to you. Because if you're going to say, oh, my life is it just sucks. It's just,
Yeah,
that's what comes to you. Where if you say, hey, there's joy in this moment, there's joy in hearing the birds out there, there's joy in my dog and my horses, life is great. And it just
yeah.
changes your attitude and changes what comes to you, is how I feel.
Absolutely. And I think, people often talk of heaven or hell,
Yeah.
and they forget that they're the ones that are creating it.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Exactly.
it's not taking away from what happens to us in the experiences of life, but
Right.
it is how we start processing and thinking about it and what we do next that creates our heaven or hell.
Mhm.
And really, I've been like playing with this idea for so long is that, if we look at everything outside of ourselves, right?
Right.
Heaven or hell is outside of ourselves. Well, if it's inside of you, then you have the choice. You have the choice of what you do, how you think, how you experience life.
Yeah.
And it can be something that like you talk about energy, right? And
Mhm.
it's interesting you brought that up because that was something that again I've been thinking a lot about as I've been really pulling together this idea of just feeling good. Just let's just feel good. What is the energy of that we feed most of the time? And like you said, and then we're attracting it. So if we're feeding negativity all the time, and we're complaining or we're in negative spaces or doing things that aren't feeling good within our heart and within our gut, then that's the life we're living.
Yes. And when you start to feel that and feel it inside of you and you look around, you see it in those people.
Hmm.
Because the people that are giving off them negative vibes, they're living in a negative world. They're
Right.
unhappy.
Yeah.
They're disgusted with everything that's happening. I'm
Yes.
like, well, you guys are putting that out there. The universe thinks that's what you want.
Exactly. And thinking of the ones and I know by the most part, all of us humans, like we want to belong. We want to be part of a community and of a group. Um, and so then we end up trying to match our vibration and our energy to people and thinking about the people that came to you, for instance, when you're smiling and judging you.
Mhm.
Well, it's because they're not allowing themselves to be that way,
Right.
right? And they're trying to pull you down to their
Uh-huh.
level, their
Yes.
their negative energy level. And so, when we're looking at a life that feels good or, doing things that feel good for us, it brings us into more alignment with our soul, of course. Um, but I think it shows people the way, and then it's their choice. But I guess we have a choice. We can learn to live in a higher vibration, and that is what feels good.
Mhm.
Or we can learn to do what everybody else wants us to do, and that maybe does not feel good within us.
Yes.
But that's our choice.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
all our choice.
we all have choices. It kind of reminds me of last evening. It was after dark and I was out feeding my horses, and yeah, I needed to get in and get supper and do different things. And I was like, no, I'm just going to take time for me. And my older horse, I don't ride him anymore. And I asked him, I said, can I just sit on your back? And he said, I always can hold you.
Aw.
And so I got on him and I just laid down and looked at the stars on him. Looked at it was just,
Mhm.
oh, it just almost gives me the chills now because it was such a renewing of my soul to just
Yes.
be on top of him and feel his energy and just be laying there and looking up into the sky and at the stars and not worrying about anything else that anybody else wanted me to be
Yeah.
doing or should be
Right.
doing. And it's
Right.
just taking those moments
Right.
for yourself and the experience that you feel when you do it. It's words don't even describe it.
They don't. And I mean, I think that is part of living a life that is aligned with who you are. You can't really describe it because
No.
it's a feeling, it's an experience, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think of how often in my life, and I've seen other people do it, going back to the idea of freedom and then how we hold ourselves back. Um, we talk ourselves into doing things that don't feel right for us.
Right.
And then we talk ourselves out of doing things that do feel good and right.
Uh-huh.
Like, you could have easily
Yes.
said, no, I have this to do, or I should
Mhm.
be doing the dishes, or, oh, I said I would do this for so and so, so I better do that
Right.
first, or, and then we just end up convincing ourselves to not do the things that make us happy and build
Uh-huh.
joy.
Uh-huh.
And it's not like you can, like you said, you can feel it all the time, but why not start building on that, right? Having Maybe you have happy moments that build into happy days, that build into happy weeks, that build into a happy month, and then you know, a happy year. And,
It-
but yeah, I think we just have to stop convincing ourselves that we don't deserve it.
yeah, I think so too. And I think it's it speaks a lot louder to us that we need to be doing something else and doing this because it was a soft voice inside of me that gave me the thought
Right.
to do that last
Yes.
night. And it
Yes.
didn't continue to holler at me and say, you need to do this, you need to do this. It was a soft voice that just came to me and said,
Yeah.
this would really be neat tonight. And
Mm,
it's listening to, I always say, listening to the whispers.
yeah.
And that's for me, that's where the joy is, because that's where I find those moments that are so beautiful.
That's so, so true. And how often the voices in our own heads or the
Yes.
voices of others drown out that soft voice that just ends up creating so much I don't know, like again, talking about not being able to describe things in words, it just creates a life that feels good. There's
Yes,
no other way to describe it. I know,
there isn't.
it's just like, if you start feeling into your center and your core, it feels so good,
Yeah, right. Because
you
your
know?
heart knows what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you
Absolutely.
listen to it and connect to it, it's just it's amazing. It brings into today I pulled cards. I have a deck of
Mm,
oral cards, and one of the
yeah.
words today was connection and
Mm,
connecting to that heart space
yes.
and connecting if you have a horse or even a dog. It would be easy to connect to any of your animals. Just do a heart-to-heart connection with them, and just put
Oh,
your
that's
hand
beautiful.
on their heart and your other hand on your heart, and just feel that connection. So yeah, connection.
It's
I
beautiful.
I know why it came up today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. In one of the youth groups I was running one time, and that's one thing, you know, you can forget a lot of things, but you can't forget experiences, you know, and that's
Right.
why I love them so much in life, you know, it's because they really do transform you. But this one young girl was working on connecting to a horse, and it wasn't happening, and it wasn't happening. And I finally walked up to her because I heard the message from the horse, and I said, well, you need to connect to yourself first, right?
Yes,
You need
exactly.
to feel your own heart first.
Mhm.
And that goes back to, you know, you need to love yourself first. You need to, you know, that is not a selfish way of being. That's the way we're meant to be. And it's the animals that teach us that a lot.
Uh-huh.
You
Mhm.
know, go
It,
up to a horse that's eating grass and ask it to do something. It's like, no, you can be here with me, but you know, I'm not doing that. I'm eating grass.
right, right. I'm happy.
You know, yeah, I'm happy. Just like hang out. It's okay, you know. Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, it's not to take away our human experience, you know, all of our thoughts and our beliefs and all the things that happen to us, our traumas. I mean, yes, we do have to do our diligence of work to let that go because none of that stuff feels good.
Right.
And we all hold it in our bodies, we hold it in our thoughts, we hold it in our energy fields. And so it is important to, you know, start looking at those things and letting them go, because on the other side of all that pain that we're holding and all those regrets and thoughts that we're having that don't feel good, on the other side of working through all those is the freedom we're looking for,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So it's not just about going, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Yes, yes. And whatever's holding you back from doing what you want and what feels good needs to be, you know, let go of, explored, and dropped on in the dirt, you know, so that
Mhm.
you can live a life that feels better and
Yes.
feels good for you.
Yeah. And to each person, that's going to be different. I mean,
Yeah.
I can share my experiences and how I bring that joy into my life.
Mm,
And to someone else, it may be sitting down reading a book. It
yeah.
may just be sitting down with a cup of coffee. I'm To our listeners, I just want to say each one of you has to find how you find your own joy to bring that
Mhm.
feeling good in life. Chantel and
Absolutely.
I share our experiences to give you some ideas how we do it, but each one has their own unique way of finding that joy in their life.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and the things that I found that have helped me in the past, and you know, it's something that I often have to revisit because what brought me happiness and joy 10 years ago doesn't do the same for me
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Right. So again,
Hmm.
living in the past, we have to let ourselves change and shift and transform. And
Yeah,
so it's always exploring what it now feels good, what makes you happy now. Like, yeah, maybe you thought it was this, but it's not that anymore. And one of the questions that I've asked that has completely transformed my life and had me move out of so many situations that weren't good for me was what would love do, or what do I love, you know? And when you really think that of that energy of love, like the non-judging, you know, supporting, accepting way of being, what would that do for you? What decisions would you make now? And you know what makes you happy? You know, so many people can't answer two questions of who you are and what makes you happy. Well, then go explore that.
huh? Oh, how true that is. Because so many people, they don't know. They don't
No,
know. They don't even know who they are.
no,
They haven't taken time to go inside and find out who their true self is.
yeah,
They're too It's almost like they're too programmed to what
Yeah,
they've been taught they should be
absolutely.
and not
Yeah.
what they really are. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And there's the work, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
There's the work.
There's the work to undo that programming and find out who you really are.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Yes.
I always feel it's a work in progress.
It
I'm
really
not
is.
totally there.
No.
No, there's always challenges that come up, and I think, well, I react and I'm going, that's how I used to react. Why am I reacting that way now?
Yeah, yeah. So it gives you the opportunity to look at what's no longer serving you, right?
Right. Exactly. What no longer serves you. That says it so well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then you really find out that didn't bring me any joy. So it doesn't serve me.
No, why was I doing
Uh-huh.
that?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I think you're bang on. It's a journey. I used to think that I had got there. I had done so much healing and personal work that, oh, I'm done. Well, no, that never happens
Oh,
because we have to undo a lifetime of crap, you know?
uh-huh.
And we can find the moments of feeling good and joy in that as well.
Yes. Yes. You can find those moments as you're journeying through it and
Yes.
unraveling it almost,
Hmm.
unraveling all that past that has held you in a prisoner of the past.
Yes,
It's how I always
absolutely.
think. And
Yeah.
that is something I always think about. An affirmation, I am no longer a prisoner of the past.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
and it makes you feel so much better to even say it that I'm not a
Yes.
prisoner of that past. I am no longer the victim.
No, that's right. We have to remind ourselves of that, right?
Yes,
Because, the louder voice is often the victim voice. And it's not that you can't have love and compassion for that part of your life. But you have to remind yourself that you're no longer there.
right, right. You can learn from those experiences,
Yes.
but then move on.
Hmm.
Is how I often
Absolutely.
feel how it is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and what joy it brings you when you know if it's even a baby step you've made to move
Hmm.
away from that part and realize what that experience taught you.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a journey. There's no doubt about it.
Yes, yes. And it can be one that's more playful and fun if we allow ourselves to have that, right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
I just think
Um,
it's so interesting, Joyce, I mean I've been doing 12 years of trauma work with people, and you would think that one of the emotions that people would judge the most would be like shame or no, we know how to do that well.
yeah,
We don't know how to be happy.
right.
We're scared of it. Lots of people are scared of it. They're scared that they're going to get hurt if they become happy,
Uh-huh.
right? Because we'll be rejected or abandoned or judged. And you just have to say, that was the past.
Right.
That was the past, and I can handle this now. I can be happy.
Hmm. Oh, I love that. I can be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, Chantel, I cannot believe this show is coming to a close already.
What?
I know. I'm like, where did it go?
We're going to have to spend a day together, Joyce, you and
Yes,
I.
we are. Definitely. It'd probably run into the night too, because I'm sure you and I could talk and talk.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh. Well, before we do close this show, would you please share with our listeners the best ways to connect with you, Chantel?
Sure. Well, you can text me, which is interesting. Most people think that they have to go through somebody to get to somebody, but you can still text me. Um, and that my information can be found on my website, so you can email me as well. So my website is equinereflection.com, and my email's on there, my phone number's on there. We can find ways to connect on Zoom if you want to explore more of a feel good life. We can do that.
Oh, Oh, I love it. And then the other thing, I would love to have you back again, Chantel, so we can continue to share with our listeners.
Yes, I would love that. I love Divas That Care and just enjoy sharing what life is teaching me.
Oh, and it is so beautiful. I love to hear you share, and I just feel such a connection that it's always so much fun to have you on my show.
Oh, thanks, Joyce. Fun to be with you too.
Oh, and with that, I want to wish you very magical days till you and I connect again, to you and all your animal families.
You as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this magical show with our incredible diva, Chantel White. Please share this show with your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And remember some of the golden nuggets that Chantel left with us. Answer the question, what makes you happy? Who are you? What no longer serves you? And you can be happy. And what would love do? Just go into that heart space and that love energy. And with that, I want to wish all of you a very magical, magical day. Remember, be kind to all, including your animals, and give your animals a great big hug and share all your love with them as they so deserve it. Until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles, stay strong and healthy.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.